Hey guys, it's Cyborg here, back again with another review. Today we're having a look at the DC Total Heroes Ultra, I think? I don't remember offhand, but it's the Cyborg figure. He was originally a Comic-Con exclusive figure for 2015, I think? It's either that or the year before that. Might have been 2014 because I think I remember seeing him when I got my containment suit Doomsday, but nonetheless, he's a pretty cool figure. He does come with a lot of stuff. We'll get into that in a minute here, but first we'll just get into him. The articulation's a standard DC Total Heroes. That'll look up and down a little bit. It'll rotate. His shoulder pads are on hinges, so you can move his arms up if you want. Move them back down. You can rotate his elbow hinges also. He's got these little ports on his forearms, I believe. And they're spring-loaded. For accessories, this side I'm not going to do anything with because it got stuck, and I don't want it to get stuck again. Feels a little sticky, so we're going to leave that out for that side. The other side should be fine. He's got a swivel at the wrist. He's got the alt hands. The wrists on this guy pop out kind of easy, so careful with that. You don't want to lose them. And the vac metal here, it looks nice, but is it necessary? Absolutely not, because they only did the torso and the arms. I would have preferred if they didn't do it at all, and maybe just left these spring-loaded bits out and just had, like, just holes. I mean, he's a robot. He's got holes in certain areas, you know, ports and things. He's got a couple on his shoulder pads, even. So it doesn't really matter. You could just paint him red, and no one would probably care. But instead we got this crap vac metal, which I'm not a fan of, but he does have a waist swivel. I will say the decal, the Cyborg decals, applied nicely. His hips are on T-joints. The side's a little stuck, but they do move out. He moves forward and back. There's a single hinge in the knee, and he has a hinge in the foot. So his legs look rather cheap compared to this part. I mean, and he feels kind of cheap, I'm not gonna lie, but he's not a bad figure. I do like him a lot. He just feels kind of cheap, and that's why he was probably only worth the $12-something my father got him for. But looking at the old hands, he comes with, of course, the karate chop hand and the holding stuff hand. I mean, all of these figures come with that. I mean, the deluxe ones anyway. The regular figures, they tend to have a fist and one of the holding stuff hands, even though I don't think barely any of them came with anything. Then he comes with an alt head. A little scope on it, which is nice. But you can swap out the head that's on him. So we're going to answer the phone. Guess not. But there you go. And he's got his little scope there. It's pretty cool. Then he also has a little jetpack, which is cool. He's got on his back, he's got some Well, he's got a peg hole. The other two aren't peg holes, they're just decorative. You could snap this on there. Takes a little bit of finagling, but you can get it on there. And now he's got wings, which is pretty nice. And then you got an array of weapons. You have this blade weapon, which can attach to his arms on those little ports that I was talking about. Just like so. I don't think it's on there on the way, but all the way. And it's supposed to spring back up. Sometimes it'll get stuck. That'll happen. You just gotta wait patiently and keep putting these little, and you also get this cannon. I go off topic for a minute. But if you have patience, all you gotta do is just keep adding bits on them, and then you can probably get the thing to pop back out again. That's what happened with mine. You can attach that, and it sprung back up. Or you can go big or go home and attach this ginormous arm cannon that's totally oversized. Now what you want to do here is you want to straighten his arm out. You want to get it, I'd say like that. And yeah, it's gonna be quite the challenge to get it on there all the way. I will say that. But when you do, the result is rather promising. Why do I feel like it's still not on all the way? Yeah, I didn't put it on right. There we go. I think I went in a little more. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think. Yeah, I'm gonna say for the record it's on. And you gotta tilt it up because he is gonna get top heavy. You gotta pose him up. But when you get him posed, that is if yours doesn't have a sticky leg like mine does. That's wrong. A tight leg like mine does. There we go. You can get him to stand with this. I've done it. It's quite the challenge, but you can get him to stand with it. Up in the air, at least. There. You can get him to stand with it. It is a challenge, but... And it does look quite ridiculous, really. That's the same problem with the Green Lantern figure, that the accessory, the weapon, can be rather top-heavy. And cumbersome to work with. But it is fun to have, nonetheless. Especially if you do, like, Instagram pictures, you can have them using it in all kinds of confrontations. Is this hinged all the way? I guess. Straightening him out. But chances are I'll have him something like this on my shelf. I'll probably have the regular head on, though. I kind of prefer that. More simplistic look. Like that, maybe even without this. Because it does take up quite the bit of real estate. Yes, this is a nice piece. it just kind of feels a little cheap, or on the cheap side. I'm gonna give him an 8. Just because I've grown used to this line. Doesn't exactly quite wow me like the other ones did, because those were my first ones, but I would say if you're in the budget for a Cyborg figure, this is a nice substitute until you can afford a nicer one, this one or the DC Collectibles one, but I say that very loosely because that was before they upped their game in terms of quality. But nonetheless, this is a nice figure, and definitely you should check him out if you can. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Stay tuned. We're going to be looking at the new 52 Doomsday Wave next. Last week, I guess. Last week we looked at the Watchmen set. Now we're looking at the Doomsday Wave. Just to kind of wrap up my DC stuff. Yeah, until next time, I'll catch you guys later.